As a child, people would ask, what do you want to become when you grow up? I knew what I didn't want to become. I knew that I didn't want to be a farmer, to till as hard as my father did to earn a living. If you've been to coffee farming zones, normally the coffee harvesting is in the December holiday. And you would go to the factory in the evening, queue because you have many bags of coffee, and we would get back home and nobody wants to go to the kitchen because we're all tired and we are hungry. So that was kind of how holidays, November, December looked like. It was easier for me to study than to actually work. Because we were employed by an accountant cum auditor, he understood principles of business like stock taking. So we would do a stock take every evening. On the days I was at the till, we would all go home early. So one day he actually came home with a newspaper and he was so excited to pull out for me a particular page that was advertising the EABL scholarship. Back then it was the Guinness scholarship. He asked me, why are you going to medical school and you're very good in numbers? I asked myself that question, and I actually at that point started to change my mind, and that is how I got interested in applying for the scholarship. Mrs. Buta, the academics registrar at the time, went to management and asked if we can be sponsored for our accommodation in the hostels, and that prayer was actually answered. Being concerned about the whole person and the family taught me a lesson around building a solid family and paying attention to the family, because that is the center of your life, I would say. That is actually how I came back to Strathmore University Business School. I became the Director of Executive Education, heading the critical department of the business school, and I was actually less than 30 years. I started to find more fulfillment in my job, building leaders, transforming organizations, compared to my commercial role in the bank and at Total. One of my dreams was to teach strategy. And I began teaching strategy, and I noticed there's something that many strategy classes don't talk about: execution. So I noticed that there's actually a gap between strategy and results. So I have mapped my strategic leadership and my passion for execution into what I do today, which is basically strategic leadership and translating strategy for results. Each year, I probably meet over 1,000 managers who are struggling to become better leaders. And I would say in that very job, I'm able to take very specific interest to build them as better leaders, in addition to making them better leaders for the institutions and the businesses that they run. Imagine teaching 200 managers from one organization. If each of them changed only one thing in their home, or only one thing in their home and one thing in their workplace, how much is that impact? So I think I look at it more from the ripple effect and the impact that begins with what I teach them and what they are able to do also at their own personal lives. I am giving back in my circles of influence, in big numbers, in organizations, as well as in my own family.